First of all, the Quran chapter 4 verse number 34, it says beat them clearly. And you know, Arabic is my first language, not my second or third. Now let us say the Muslim, they say beat them lightly, but doesn't say that. And we can show you the hadith where the man, he did beat his wife until her skin became greener than her clothes. She was wearing a green clothing. Muhammad took the side of the man who did beat his wife until he made her skin greener than her clothes. And Aisha, she's saying, I never saw, I have not seen any women is suffering as much as a believing woman. So Aisha, she witnessed that the most suffering women ever is Muslim women, because their husband, they beat them, and that is legal. And look, her skin is greener than her clothes. Read the hadith, you will see Muhammad took the side of the man against the woman, and he forced her that the man, he can rape her, the husband. Because obviously this woman, she don't want to sleep with this man, and she want to go back to her previous husband. Now, let us say, for the sake of argument, the husband did not beat her. He did. I mean, how lighting can be spit? Who are you to spit at a human being, and she is your wife? Unless you are trying to insult. So since when beat them lightly or beat them strongly will make a difference? Beating is beating. The purpose of this beating is to force your wife to obey you, and there is no way a light beating will force her if she is disobedient already. So what the point of this beating, unless it is something harmful, something strong, something will force a human being to do what you wish. The same as when in Egypt or some Islamic countries, they arrest you and they ask you to confess your crime by beating you, and when they start beating you, you say whatever they want just to stop beating you. So this cannot be a light beating, because the purpose of it to make the women obedient, subdued. And if they obey you, then don't seek anything against them, which means the purpose of this whole story is to make them obedient. So the beating is not the purpose. The beating is to force them into obedience. And the only way to make her obedient to you is not light beating, because she will not do it anyway. What light beating will do to her? Like, what does that mean? You will spank her with your, as they say in toothbrush, that will tickle her. She will laugh at you. She will say you are a fool. Imagine I'm trying to make my wife obey me, and I beat her in toothbrush as the Abdul, they lie and they fool us. The miswak which the Muslim they beat their wife with is not the small tiny thing. The miswak is a long rooted tree. It's a root of a tree, can go up to 6 meters long, very flexible, and they beat the camel with it. It's like a belt, the same as any tree roots. You can go and see what roots of trees are. They are flexible. They are very harmful. This is the miswak. It's not the small tiny thing they show you in the size of little the tips of your finger. So they beat them by the miswak, and this is a beating to make her obey. And obviously this is a very harsh teaching of God, who claimed to be God. And since when, if I beat my wife, she will be a better human being? I might force her to obey me, but obviously she don't want to obey me, and she will hate me. Since when by violence we can make a better family? And now I have 4 wives. I have going to beat them all unless they obey me. So the obedience of Islam have to be by terrorism. This is a terrorism. I terrify you by violence in order to make you obey the obedience to me, and that's what Muhammad is about. Muhammad always target the weak spot. He terrified the weak ones so they will be subdued to him. In this case, women are the weak one. So we allow the man to beat them so they can be subdued. A man, he beat a woman, he have nothing manly about him. If you are a man, you want to have a fight, go and fight a man in the street. Let us see how good you are. A man, he beat his wife, he's a coward. Now, some women, they might be aggressive, and they are the one who beat the men. Some women, they use violence against men. Actually, according to study in Morocco, most of the domestic violence in Morocco is women beating their husbands. So this is wrong anyway, regardless who is doing it, the man or the woman. But when God, he make it as something, as a way to life and a way of establishing a family, that is disgusting. People, they do wrong, people, they beat each other, men or women, they are using violence against each other, but that does not make it right because people, they do it. Wrong is wrong. When God, he says this is the way to make a good family, that means this God is an idiot.